hours, they captured the horror and human drama of the unfolding tragedy.
We were clearing each floor systematically, hundreds and hundreds of people coming down.
You got innocent people that left their families at home, didn't even have a chance.
The whole left tower is no more.
Let's get in here!
And then all of a sudden it hit again. We kept on running, and the tower came. Next thing we know, we don't see one nor two.
Everybody that was on that plane is dead. We don't know how many people are dead in the World Trade Center.
All the steel from the building, all the facade from the building, there's papers everywhere. Looks like a war zone.
It's Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. People are in a hurry. It's business as usual. It's election day, the New York primary. And for lots of kids, it's the first day of school. As people will later remember, the day dawns crisp and clear, a perfect fall morning in New York. People on their way to work can read about the economy, but sports dominate the headlines. Will Barry Bonds break the home run record? Will Michael Jordan return to the NBA? That's what's on people's minds on the morning of September 11th, 2001. It's just a typical day in New York. Then, at 8:45 a.m., everything changes forever. Out of nowhere, American Airlines Flight number 11 crashes into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. A landmark of the New York City skyline for a generation, the 1,362-foot-high World Trade Center number 1 hemorrhages smoke and flames. New Yorkers, used to the sound of sirens, turned south, standing stunned in the street, gaping at the hole in the burning tower. A first wave of firemen, police, and EMS crews from all across the city descends on Lower Manhattan.
That we were clearing each floor systematically, and as we were going up, of course, people were coming down. Hundreds and hundreds of people coming down.
Any public vehicle that can support the rescue effort is commandeered. Firefighters are carted to ground zero by the busload, and the morning's just begun. Smoke and flames continue to pour out of the Trade Center. The plane has pierced the building's steel and glass shell, cutting off anyone above the 90th floor from any possible escape. They are effectively doomed. On the street, talk is of a horrible accident. 9:03 a.m. Even from the streets below, New Yorkers sense the panic and terror in the burning tower. Then, as suddenly as the first, a second plane appears in the sky. The eyes of the world, already focused on the World Trade Center, watch in horror as another hijacked airliner slams into the 1,368-foot-high South Tower. The two buildings now burn like gigantic matchsticks in an inferno of jet fuel.
I saw two planes coming down.
"9:43 a.m.
This was all calculated, man. But
At the same exact time, man.
Unthinkably, the news gets worse. A third hijacked plane crashes into the Pentagon in Washington. The country's worst fears are confirmed. America has suffered a devastating terrorist attack. People are scared. No one knows if the attacks have ended. Still, as the city is transfixed in horror, few understand the inexorable physics of high-rise construction. The towers cannot withstand such mortal blows. 10:05 a.m. After burning for just over an hour, the weakened South Tower of the World Trade Center collapses on top of itself. In an instant, it is erased from the Manhattan skyline.
And then we heard Maydays go out on everybody's radio. People down, officers down, Mayday, Mayday. And it was at that point that we stopped. continuing going up on the floors and started heading downstairs. And when we started heading downstairs, we tried to come down as fast as we can.
It all happened so fast. The damage is so extreme. The magnitude of the disaster is incomprehensible.
The whole left tower is no more. Look, there is no left tower anymore. We were just standing here, and all of a sudden, the whole left tower just collapsed, like sawdust. And if you look down there, it's just one big, huge dust cloud.
All of New York becomes consumed with the rescue effort. The entire city holds its breath, hoping the worst is over. But it is not over. Emergency services go into crisis mode. Securing important sites against more attacks is on everyone's mind. Subways, bridges, tunnels, and roadways are shut down.
Lincoln Holland tunnels, George Washington Bridge are all closed. The Tappan Zee Bridge is open at this time. East River bridges and tunnels in and out of Manhattan are also shut down at this time, as is all of the airport activity nationwide.
I feel so bad for the people that were in that building. All the people trying to get out, all the rescue workers that must have been around the building when it came down. It's just unbelievable. It's just like a bad dream.
Those at a safe distance from Ground Zero are desperate for news of loved ones.
If what happened to the second left tower, the right tower, the same thing is going to happen. The right tower is still standing, but what happened to the left tower? They can't get up there and stop that fire. That whole same thing's going to happen to the right tower.
10:10 a.m. The barrage ends when a fourth hijacked plane crashes 80 miles southeast of Pittsburgh.
It's believed that this plane was a Boeing 767. It crashed just about 10 o'clock this morning, 8 miles east of Jennerstown. That's in Somerset County. We stress Somerset County.
10:28 a.m.
Shot it down and fucking in Brooklyn. Landed in Brooklyn.
So we just ran up the street as fast as we can, picking up people and pushing them down the street.
Gotta get them out of here. Send the boat.
The drama in Lower Manhattan comes full circle when the North Tower collapses. Some on the ground narrowly avoid the falling skyscraper.
Smith, the whole building, watch the debris come down the street. Don't open the door, get away from the windows. Get away from the windows. Don't open it. There it comes! Get behind!
Oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you! Oh my God. Oh my God.
Look at the shadow of death.
Oh my God! You're right! Oh my God, you saved my life! You saved my life! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
The world just went black. And at that point, everybody was scrambling to breathe. There was no daylight at all.
Oh my God! Thank you, thank you! Okay, I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm fine, thank you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God!
Everyone's dead.
Okay. Are we okay? Thank you. Thank you, guys. Oh my God.
The equivalent of nuclear winter sets in over Lower Manhattan.
I imagine all those rescue workers and everybody that was down here trying to render assistance are probably dead. World Trade Center towers aren't there anymore. If you look down the road, it's covered in debris, and all of New York's finest and all of their bravest firefighters are probably not alive.
On everyone's mind, the fate of thousands of office workers and those first on the scene to rescue them.
Father, can we ask you a few questions?
You don't want to.
Were you down there?
Since about 10 minutes to 9, the terrorists attacked. Evidently, they hijacked planes and they slammed into the Twin Towers. Both of them are down. So.
Did you hear that Washington got hit as well?
Tommy? Yeah, I'm going to give blood at the hospital. They asked for volunteers, okay? Sorry to...
Where was St. Vincent's? 12th Street and what? St. Vincent's.
St. Vincent's, 11th and 7th Avenue.
Is it 11th and 7th?
Yeah, if you can give blood, please. I'm walking in now, okay? Bye-bye. If you could give blood, they can call for blood.
All around the city and in surrounding areas, people stop in the street and stare, horrified, frightened, confused. The entire city is suddenly in mourning.
The second one just came down.
But I work in the work. I tell you, God, I don't get to touch yourself. 9 o'clock after.
The second building just fell.
The scene here is reminiscent of a nuclear winter. There is dust in the street. It is 3-4 inches high. I can't tell you.
The second plane I actually saw came in and hit it.
Yeah.
Came from Staten Island, and it was like a looked like a DC-10. To see that, I mean, that was devastating. I mean, you got innocent people that didn't even have a chance. Didn't even have a chance. Left their families at home.
They were trying to put the fire out down there with towel ladders, but when it was on the 4th floor, we were trying to. Well, we got all kinds of water problems. The two trade buildings took out the mains. There's no way to put the fire out.
The name on his bunker jacket reads simply Miller, a fireman from Engine Company 15 on Manhattan's Lower East Side. He was one of the first on the scene, and so modest, he didn't think he'd done anything out of the ordinary. He thought giving his name would be grandstanding. It was all in a day's work.
Pretty much, if you were in a building, I think you were safe. You know, anybody in the street, the rubble on Liberty Street's 5 feet high. There's twisted I-beams and this stuff you wouldn't. Yeah, if you looked at it, it looks like World War III. You're gonna need cranes. You know, you're not even gonna move that stuff with payloaders. You're gonna need a crane and torches to cut it up, move it. You know damn well, whoever was over the top of the crashes was stuck there. How are you gonna get down?
There were a lot of people.
So, I mean, I don't know what floor that the planes crashed into, but if it's in the middle anywhere, well, then you got 25,000 people in each building right off the bat.
The smoke and ash form a suffocating dark cloud. Thousands at Ground Zero are made sick by the acrid air.
One murder center.
Everyone lucky enough to make it out alive has a horror story to tell.
We wait until second blast because we have to make sure that the people are out also. Almost all the people were out. We opened the doors and everything. And make sure the stairs doors are open so people can get out easily. Fire department was working with us. But after the second blast, everything was so dark. We decided we have to go out, and I was waiting outside to make sure that our team workers are okay. But in the third blast, I couldn't even breathe, so I had to get out. It was so much dust. I was like 3 blocks away, and after that, so dark and I can't even breathe. I guess I'm okay.
Dude.
You all right?
It's not working, no signal.
88, One World Trade.
72. You're on 88? Yeah. How'd you live through that?
Sheer luck.
That's where the planes hit. We made it. We got that first secondary explosion really got us spooked because we were in the building. We came down and we were meandering, eyeballing, and then all of a sudden it hit again. we kept on running, and the tower came. Next thing we know, we don't see one nor two. We were hanging around up there thinking everything was over.
Well, we tried
That's
to
what we
help
were doing.
people.
We went in to make a phone call. We almost didn't come back.
When we were in, and we were on 20th floor? 21, and you know, all of we were looking out the window, we were getting our air because it was a clear floor, and then all of a sudden, boom, and then we just hightailed out of there, went in one stairway, was full of smoke, got down, still was just meandering out of there, looked up, we saw one down, we saw two down, and we saw the vista take, you know, gouged, and then all of a sudden the tower came down on one, went into a building, everybody was running, firemen, everybody, we just hightailed it, asses and elbows, and then all of a sudden, you know, we look up and there's no towers no more.
3-1.
Hands are starting to shake now.
Yeah. 1-1.
I'm gonna be a good boy tonight.
Just press talk.
There's Jerry's. Mary there? Oh, you never heard about what happened? Okay, I'm okay. Could you do me a favor? Could you try to get her at home and tell her that I'm okay? Yeah. 766-6002. Who am I speaking to? Karen, hi. Yeah. We just got out. We barely made it out. A few minutes ago, there was 1 and 2 World Trade Center, and then there's nothing.
Number 1 just came down. The whole building's gone.
There's people.
Number 1, the complete building fell down.
People in there.
Beaten troops pull back after a first assault on the smoldering rubble and debris.
I tried to breathe through my T-shirt. I tried to breathe into my arm, but it was just no good. There was no breathing available.
The only thing that saved us, actually, we were all laying down. We lost communication, and somebody was yelling, "Follow my voice." So we crawled through the muck, and you couldn't breathe, and you're thrown up, and we got pulled into a bagel store. So in the bagel store, they had water and oxygen.
Even veteran firefighters are in shock, just trying to come to grips with the enormity of the destruction.
They had a total recall of all the off-duty firemen to come in. So I would imagine we're all going to be camped out at the firehouse for the next few days.
Go back to the rigging. West and Warren.
Because we have the equipment's all decimated, manpower's decimated. You know, we got to get back into, you know, this stuff doesn't stop because of this.
Yeah.
You know, we got to keep going. So,
I don't know how.
I'm going to go to funerals.
This time, though, the loss hits close to home. As many as 300 firefighters are unaccounted for and feared dead. Those who are able attend to their own.
Wayne hit it, and bodies were spinning out. He said about 20 bodies.
That first one probably shook up a lot of people, and they just took head for the hills.
Strewn across lower Manhattan are twisted piles of steel and knee-deep layers of ash. There's enough concrete to form a sidewalk 5 feet wide between New York and Washington, D.C. Enough steel to build 20 more Eiffel Towers and nearly 14 acres of glass.
They told me firemen are trapped in the subway, ladder 7. So I got to their rig, grabbed some of the equipment, and I went down in the subway. And that's when the second tower fell while I was in that subway. And the dust chased us out towards the other end. We came to the street, we couldn't come out, we had to go back in.
Hello?
But I went pretty deep. Nobody to be found. It's pitch black there. Nobody to be found.
No firefighter had ever had a day like this before.
He's just got to get out. I'm getting him out of here. He was in the collapse. He got buried.
see the tail of the plane going in?
We were in the stairway. That was the collapse, the first building. That was? Then the second one, top started coming down, and it worked its way down. It's like a fucking stairway up there. I guess there's that big hole, and the burning, took them right down.
That's what you say, you saw the plane coming down? Second.
10:45 a.m.
In New York, events started to unfold in Washington. A plane hit the Pentagon.
Reliable news is hard to come by. It's difficult to know what's happening or what to believe.
The State Department has been evacuated. The president, who was in Florida, went before cameras to denounce, as you would expect, and as we would expect, this terrorist attack, promising to hunt down those responsible. It was the president himself who first used, at least as I heard the story unfold today, the word terrorism. There was no doubt in his mind, at least.
Rumors and speculation substitute for real information.
Definitely feels like World War III, that's for sure. What else could it be? I mean, look what we did when Pearl Harbor was bombed.
We are at war now.
Yeah, we're at war, you're right.
We're definitely at war.
What else could it be?
I was on the bus when it first happened, when the first explosion occurred. 2 minutes after it happened, and there was a passenger behind me. It said that there's a plane that just ran into the World Trade Center, and everyone was like not believing it. But I was from the bus, I could see the smoke billowing, and then just as he had said that, he said, "Oh my God, there's just been another plane that's hit the World Trade Center," and everyone is advising not to use the subways, and that's when it happened. It happened it was very calculated, between 9 and 9:30, because I remember the second plane that went down was 9:18. One of the bus drivers said to me, "Let's hope that it was the second plane hit the building because they could not see through the smoke." But later on, people were expressing that it was a hijacked plane and that we were indeed attacked.
Long lines form at the few public phones still working. Circuits are overloaded. Cell phones are unreliable too.
Two more flights that may have been hijacked and lost contact with the pilots on both those planes, and we'll get more information as soon as we can. Lisa, Michael, back to you.
11:02 a.m. Triage centers are set up on the streets of Lower Manhattan.
All right, guys, we get hit by a lot. It's critical. One guy.
Doctors and nurses, EMS workers, and hundreds of volunteers prepare for floods of casualties.
Rush around. All right? Let's not have two on at once. All right? One board in transit. All right?
Nothing is running. Nothing. No radios, nothing's running. No subways. There's no subways down there.
There is no subway, sir. The transit authority said that everything is shut down by order of NYPD. That is what I got. We have lost everything. Nothing is moving in or out of the city. All subway service is dead. We are out of business as of right now. Until further notice.
Do they have an idea of when it's going to resume, or like
until that smoke clears up, until the structure is safe, there is nothing moving.
Okay.
I found out over the radio it was a commercial airliner that hit that building. Everybody that was on that plane is dead. We don't know how many people are dead in the World Trade Center. So it's nothing going to be moving.
I don't have time to tell you how to get there. Either walk or go further north, trains will be running up. You could walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. If you want to go to Brooklyn.
Swim. You want to take the bridge?
Yeah. Stay out of Manhattan.
Donovan is a volunteer EMS worker who has worries of his own.
If you look up at the sky where they used to be, you can see straight through. There's nothing there, just sky.
and I have my mother and my brother that work in the same building, and I know nothing of them.
Do you know if they're okay?
I don't know anything yet.
They were in the trade center. Your mother and your brother?
Yeah.
Have you been trying to call them?
Constantly, and I know nothing of them yet.
And you're going to volunteer here and hopefully get a call out to them?
Yep. They always told me take care of other people before, you know, never be stingy and always help when you can help. And that's what I'm doing now. I don't know anything about them. When I do find out, then I can help them. Until then, I'll stay here and help these people.
Yet the news keeps getting worse. But at most triage centers, there are few victims and little to do but wait.
It was hard to get through because all the cops were blocking everything. They were just as confused as we were, you know. And I know my way around these streets, so I kind of zigzagged along and got here. Everybody was. At first, it was a small group of volunteers. Then it just exploded up. It's great to see. It's great to see people in New York come together like this. You know, you would think it'd be all like a big mob. Everybody's taking it pretty well, I guess.
You don't want to go south.
1:27 p.m. A command post is set up at Stuyvesant High School, 5 blocks north of the Trade Center.
And they also hit the Pentagon.
I was there, yeah.
Are you going back?
My job.
Good luck.
Firefighters line up for the payphones to tell loved ones that they were among the lucky ones who made it out alive.
Bomb in the building. Start clearing out.
They're saying there's a bomb maybe in the high school on either side of the building. So they're pulling back.
The blocks around Ground Zero are unrecognizable. Streets are covered in ash, and the Twin Towers reduced to rubble.
What are you doing downtown?
Stay within eye contact of me. Where I am.
With the arrival of fresh troops from Connecticut and New Jersey, the teams regroup and prepare to go back in.
See where the white smoke is? You see this thing leaning like this? It's definitely coming. There's no way to stop it. Because you have to go up in there to put it out, and it's already, the structural integrity is not there in the building. It's tough. It is beyond.
The scope of the disaster is unimaginable. The job ahead, seemingly impossible.
You know, we can handle just about everything. This is beyond.
4:15 p.m. More and more emergency personnel join the search and rescue effort. But they know their job has just begun.
Water. Water. Like needed. Water. Water. Water.
Donovan has good news.
He paid me, I called him back. He told me that they evacuated me out the building, but he didn't know where my mom was at. So he doesn't know if my mom made it out or didn't make it out. But 1 out of 2 ain't bad yet. He's gotta wait and see.
When did you get the news?
About 5 minutes ago. I'm happy. My brother made it out, man.
Yes. Yes.
Pat was there. Just wanted to see my mom's made it out. I'll be 100% joyful.
Have you heard? He hasn't heard from her?
No. He hasn't heard from my mom.
Where was he?
He was on the 38th floor. Second World Trade.
Why is it 10 now?
Even with fewer casualties than expected, at least emergency workers have something to do, something to keep them busy. As the day's events begin to sink in, New Yorkers are numb.
We gonna go in, man. We gotta take these countries up. We can't just go I run to my work. I got upstairs on the 14th floor. I look out the window. I see the building on flames. Then I see the other plane just like crashing into it, and you know, everything just went into flames and smoke, and it was just like unbelievable. It was just like watching TV from home, you know? It was just crazy, crazy. I have no words to describe the whole situation. It was just like unbelievable. It was just like nothing, you know, it's like a nightmare, you know? A whole nightmare.
St. Vincent's Hospital in Greenwich Village is the closest trauma center to Ground Zero. Preparing for the worst, hospitals across the city mobilize all available personnel.
What's the latest right now?
As far as what? What's happening? Nothing really. They're just donating blood. A lot of EMT workers and fire workers have been coming in. You know, a couple of civilians. But the ambulances aren't coming as much here. I don't know if they're going to a near a hospital or what, but we have nothing but staff ready. They're waiting. Literally, we've got people from other hospitals. We have whole other clinics that closed down, and all their people are here. And we've stripped, like the cancer center on 15th Street, all their supplies, all their doctors is here right now. They're very slow. If you notice yourself, it's like one at a time. You just expect more, so there must be somewhere between here and there must be another hospital they're going to. You know, but they have a lot of patients inside too. So.
What becomes immediately clear to the hundreds of waiting medical personnel is that there are only a handful of injured compared to the 50,000 workers in the World Trade Center towers on any given day. And yet most of the stretchers remain empty. Most of the workers just keep waiting for casualties to arrive.
There are two major trauma centers, us and Bellevue, and I think we're getting at least half, maybe more. But unfortunately, there are the majority of the people are still down there.
At triage centers, too, all they can do is stay prepared. Like the rest of New York, there's little to do but wait and try to get news any way they can. The city settles into a state of suspended animation. The streets are virtually empty, except for rescue and medical workers. And yet the casualties never arrive. In the end, there will be many victims, but few survivors. 5:20 p.m. Around Ground Zero are some of New York's more upscale residential neighborhoods. Many residents become instantly homeless. Those who can get into their buildings gather belongings and prepare to leave the area. An eerie calm descends over the city. Smoke still billows from the rubble at Ground Zero. Bridges and mass transit are closed. New Yorkers are asked to stay off the streets. And still, rescue workers are brought in by the truckload. Teams of volunteers spread out across lower Manhattan, supporting the rescue effort in any way they can. Pieces of plywood and 2x4s equal makeshift stretchers. Sadly, few will be needed. The relief efforts continue to gear up for thousands and thousands of casualties. The mobilization of volunteers is massive. Ultimately, much more than will be needed. News stories about casualties are still based mostly on speculation, but one thing is certain. Few New Yorkers will be even 1 degree of separation away from terrible loss.
Excuse me, miss. Can we ask you questions? Sure. From you live down that way, or? So were you there when it all happened? Are you being evacuated right now?
No, we were this morning.
And then did you go back and get some stuff, or?
We went back up in the dorms, yeah.
Oh, you're a student?
Yeah.
You go to NYU?
Pace.
So they're evacuating all the dorms and all the students out of there?
They did this morning.
And they're not going to let you go back in at all?
Oh, they're back in now. I just didn't want to stay.
Are you from New York?
I'm from Georgia.
So this is all very...
Yeah, this stuff doesn't happen in Georgia. So, yeah.
Are you frightened of being in New York right now?
No, I'm not scared. I was this morning. Really bad.
Did you see it all happen, or you just...
I watched the entire thing from my window.
What'd you see?
I saw the plane hit, and I saw the building fall, and then I couldn't see anything because of the smoke.
Did you see when the second building fell also?
No, I didn't see that. I was rushed to the gym. I felt that one.
People want to help, but don't know how. A terrible sense of helplessness descends over the city. And still, the constant wail of sirens fills the wide avenues and narrow streets. It is the sound of fresh teams of rescue workers continuing to flood into lower Manhattan. (9:37 p.m.) Throughout the night, fires continue to burn. Rescue efforts are hampered by shifting debris.
Have you been down there?
Yes, I have.
How's it going?
They need a lot of heavy equipment to get everybody out.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot of heavy steel in the street.
Do you think there's a lot of people alive still?
I really don't want to speculate.
What does it look like down there?
Looks like a war zone. All the steel from the building, all the facade from the building, there's papers everywhere. You know, it's devastating. Very devastated.
For all the rescue workers, exhaustion begins to set in.
Watch your step there, brother.
Yet they go on.
To the right. I'm guessing, what's this, Bessie up here?
18 search and rescue teams remain on the scene and work through the night. All 56 FBI field offices around the country join the investigation. For the FBI, Ground Zero is one enormous crime scene. Locating the 2 black box flight recorders from each plane is priority number 1. It's lonely, dirty work, but the hope of finding more casualties keeps rescue workers on the scene around the clock.
You can't. You gotta go. This is all closed off anyway. It's a frozen zone.
Debris falling from the roof.
You gotta go.
No good.
We gotta go. How can we get out?
Straight down the block. This way.
Can we get a shot right here, and then we'll leave?
No, you really gotta go. There's debris on this roof that could fall and kill you at any moment, so I
Okay.
appreciate it if you just
Thanks.
move on.
Thanks, guys. Sorry.
A 120 dump trucks cart debris away from Ground Zero. Barges ferry bodies across the Hudson River to morgues in New Jersey. 6:52 a.m. Wednesday morning, September 12, 2001. As the sun rises over New York, the city is in a state of shock. Manhattan's skyline is permanently scarred. The Twin Towers are gone. Untold thousands are dead or unaccounted for. 8:30 a.m., 24 hours after the attack on the World Trade Center. People are still trying to fathom the magnitude of the destruction, the enormity of the loss. 24 hours later, a shroud of uncertainty intensifies over the city. There is a sense that no place is genuinely safe. And everyone knows that life will never be the same again.
Their goal is evil.
You don't attack America like this and get away with it.
There is a desire by the American people to not seek only revenge, but to win a war.
We will find the people responsible for these cowardly acts, and justice will be done.
The new enemy wants to destroy us. This new enemy knows no country, knows no borders. We will find those who did it, we will smoke them out of their holes, and we'll bring them to justice.